Disabled and lonely. Loneliness is a universal experience that most humans can relate to, but amongst the disabled, it is disproportionate. Learn the reasons why disabled people feel lonely and ways to combat isolation. Hello, welcome to my so-called disabled life, where I not only talk about my life and experiences as a disabled woman, but speak the truth about disability and what it means to live as a disabled person. I am your host, Chaundra McGill, a motivational speaker and life coach for the disabled. Today, we will be talking about loneliness in the disabled community. Remember how isolated and lonely people felt at the height of the coronavirus? Well, for a lot of disabled people, life didn't change. Isolation is everyday life for the disabled. According to the Center for Health and Research Transformation, 40% of adults with a debilitating disability or chronic condition report feelings of loneliness or being socially isolated. The significant risk factors for social isolation include living alone, mobility disabilities, major life transitions, or emerging health problems. The health risks associated with social isolation and loneliness are troubling and include higher mortality rates, increased blood pressure, progression of Alzheimer's disease, depression, pain, fatigue, failing immune systems, and decreased restorative sleep. There are 3 types of loneliness. 1, intimate loneliness, which is a feeling that you lack of a close confidant, somebody who you can deeply trust, a spouse, a lover, or a very, very good friend. 2, relational loneliness, which is the absence of friendships with individuals or with a group of people. These are people you might see at weekends or in the evenings, go on vacations with, or just call up on the phone. 3, collective loneliness, when we don't feel like we belong to a community. We might not have a crew to bond over, shared experiences, or a neighborhood association, or a work team to connect with. Now, why is loneliness so pervasive among the disabled? It's a combination of 2 things. Disabled people tend to isolate themselves, and they are excluded by non-disabled people. The reasons disabled people tend to isolate themselves are they're self-conscious about their disability. When I first had my stroke, I was too embarrassed to go to social outings because of the way I looked. I was on a walker and I had extreme facial drooping. Another disabled person expressed to me that their tremors due to multiple sclerosis made them very self-conscious to be around others. Another reason, mobility aids are difficult to get out and navigate in the community. My mother is on a walker. There is simply not a quick errand to the grocery store for her. I have to carry her walker down the stairs. She then has to load it into the trunk. She then gets to her destination and then she has to unload her walker and then navigate the community. When I was in a wheelchair, it was cumbersome to transport it and prepare it for use. Another reason is just a lack of transportation. Some disabled people don't have cars or cannot drive at all. When I first had my stroke, I was on driving restriction, which impeded my ability to simply see friends or go to events. I relied heavily on transportation for the disabled, which would sometimes drop me off at doctor's appointments like 2 hours in advance, or I would have to wait that long after appointments just to get home. Another reason, a lack of money. finances plays a big role into not going to social outings. Living on a fixed income, you have very little money left for entertainment. Disabled people earn nearly 40% less than able-bodied individuals. The average Social Security disability income check is a little over $1,200 per month, which is barely above the poverty line. Another reason, depression. When I was depressed, I would isolate myself. In fact, that's one of the main symptoms of depression. Also, I just didn't want to spread my negative energy to other people. Another reason is a lack of energy. Me, I'm a stroke survivor, and I have post-stroke fatigue, and I'm on heavy narcotics. I sleep more than the average person. Even before becoming disabled, I was an 8-hour-a-night girl. I only have so much energy to go around. Unfortunately, by choosing to do work like this YouTube channel, I sacrifice the amount of energy I have for other things like socializing or even watching TV. Next are the reasons that non-disabled people tend to exclude the disabled. Non-disabled friends disappear. When you become disabled, friends seem to disappear. For me, my boyfriend left me within a month of having brain surgery. And I lost 2 girlfriends within 6 months of becoming disabled. I lost my job, so my work friends were no longer around. I miss the daily interactions you have with coworkers, even if they're not your besties. The social pleasantries of how was your weekend or what did you do on vacation is sorely missed. Non-disabled folks also just assume that we can't do certain activities. Invitations to go places begin to dry up. You can't go to clubs or bars anymore. People stop considering you while making plans. They assume you can't do certain activities, or simply they just don't want to be bogged down by the disabled person. They also perceive a flakiness. I deal with a chronic pain disorder, and I simply did not know how I would feel when I would wake up. So it was hard for me to keep plans that I RSVP'd for. After a couple of missed invitations, you're no longer considered. And some non-disabled people are simply uncomfortable around disabled folks. This awkwardness often stems from fear of seeming patronizing or saying the wrong thing, or a lack of life experiences with individuals with disabilities. So, what are some things that disabled people can do to stave off loneliness? Online and in-person support groups. I belong to so many Facebook groups, dozens of them, related to my various disabilities. When I'm going through something or have questions, I go to these groups, and I get great feedback from people who likely have shared experiences. Hospital program activities. When I was in the throes of cancer or my stroke, I would sign up for all kinds of activities they offer, like modified Tai Chi, massages, meditation, so forth. I also made disabled friends. At these events, chemotherapy, doctor's appointments even, I would introduce myself to others. While most connections wouldn't go further than that interaction, some developed into friendships. It's great having people in your life who can relate to you, but they also understand what it means to be disabled. You also have to improve the interactions you do already have. People are busy. My non-disabled friends have jobs, families, and other social obligations. So I tend to contact them more than they contact me. I reach out more. Also, I don't take it personal when they don't get back to me right away. Lean on your family. Me personally, I don't have a large family, but my mother is my best friend. Rely on your family for support and for company. Seek psychotherapy. This is not only a form of human interaction, but this can help you with social anxiety and depression that disabled people tend to deal with. Volunteer. Nonprofit organizations are always looking for help. This is an opportunity for you to pay it forward, especially for organizations catering to the disabled. And get a pet if your housing allows it. I know some apartments don't let you. But the joy of a pet into your life cannot be overstated. I have a Havanese and a Yorkie. Not only are they adorable, but they are entertaining companions. Loneliness does not have to be a bad thing. I want to leave you with the words of Mandy Hall. If you learn to really sit with loneliness and embrace it for the gift that it is, an opportunity to get to know you, to learn how strong you really are, to depend on no one but you for your happiness, you realize that a little loneliness goes a long way in creating a richer, deeper, more vibrant and colorful you. Tune in next time as we discuss Sarcoma Awareness Month. Join the My So-Called Disabled Life Facebook page to engage in lively discussions about disability. If you are enjoying this video, then join the family by subscribing to the channel and hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching.